chain gang.
Yeah, so you're in the chain gang business, and you produce what was that?
I produce chains for gang members here in Detroit inner city. There was a time when I mined the gold myself. Now I have a large hand in importing and exporting gold from exotic areas of the world to build the chains. I have several children working for me, piecing together the gold to then sell to the gang members, and really it's been quite lucrative. Yes, we do specialized chain gangs, gang chains, yes, I'm sorry. These free drink tickets.
Free drink tickets, well, they will always get you, won't they?
They will.
You embed chains with crack, too, right?
Oh, well, in the 80s I did.
Oh, yeah. Cut back on that now?
That was just a way to get the chains out. No one was really interested in buying gold chains. No gangs wanted chains, and so I just, yeah.
You must be very successful.
I am. You would have chain gangs. Actually, entire gangs are built around chains now. They all get matching chains, and then they call themselves a gang. And really, I'm just happy to have been a part of that, building community here in Detroit.
Now, do you have any relationship to the chain link business?
Chain link. Indirectly, I guess they're in a way a competitor of mine. I link chains for gangs, and they just link chains. So I'm a more niche. I have a niche market.
You have a niche market.
Yeah, which is more successful these days, as we all know.
Yes, this is true. How did you know that?
I learned that at TweetTee.
Really?
Yes, my social media people taught me that. Yeah, they teach me a lot of things. I owe a lot of the success of my chain gang business to TweetTee and the Detroit social media community.
Now, can you tell me a little bit about Detroit? What is it about Detroit, and what is Detroit?
What is Detroit? Detroit is a city. It's a major metropolitan city, actually, located in Michigan. They are the #1 purchasers of chain gangs.
Obviously.
And let's see, how to define Detroit. Was that silence good enough?
It wasn't long enough.
Oh, damn it. I know, I'm so impatient.
but it
Just
was,
a side effect of the chain gang industry.
But I really think that you may have something that nobody else knows about.
Well, thank you.
And I would like to be your partner.
You would like to come in with me?
Yeah, of course. I mean, anybody that brilliant.
Well, what do you propose to bring to the chain gang business?
I will bring gangs.
Gangs? All right, good. Gangs need chains.
Gangs need chains. And
You've got yourself a deal.
Oh, great. When do we start? Or did we already
Right now.
start? Okay.
Bring me the gangs.
I will bring you the
Show
gangs.
me the gangs.
Show me the money. Now that we have this agreement, do you think we should put special names on the chain gangs? Like maybe gangs have such a bad reputation.
They do. We need some PR, really.
I agree. So how do we get gangs to actually think positively?
Well, it's not the gangs that aren't thinking positively. Gangs, at least the chain gangs I deal with, they always think positively. It's really an effect of larger society thinking that chain gangs think negatively, and then it's got this folding, enveloping kind of effect, and they begin to think negatively themselves. So really what we need to change is not the chain gangs, but society as a whole.
And we can do that with the profits from the chain gang business?
Are you suggesting we go to some sort of non-profit business model and we take the money we make from chain gang and reinvest it into the community?
That would be terrible, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Yeah,
But we need change. The chain gang need change.
maybe we could change the chain gangs to being changelings.
One can only hope.
See, if society really understood that chain gangs and chains and gangs were very similar to the community of social,
Yes,
social network.
they link up.
Right.
Chain links.
Chain links.
Chain links, community links, social media links, networking.
We should do a stand-up comedy route here.
Who's on first?
All right. No, we'll have to fight over that one. But, you know, it is true, though, that the concept of cultural identity is often defined by others that people start to believe in. I was talking to some Roma who are gypsies. And
Ew.
a friend of mine who did a film called Gypsy Caravan. And one of the interesting things was this young woman came up, and I was filming the filmmaker and the director, and I said, well, what have you learned about the Roma and being a gypsy? And he said, you know, we get a bad name, just like many different cultures get a bad name, and other people define them, and they start believing in that definition of themselves.
Yes. It's a very powerful cultural force. It's a force. You can't put your finger on things like that or point your finger at any one individual, which makes it all the more difficult to change.
Right. Yeah, because I think that we have all these cultural propaganda and cultural identities that are developed because somebody has a point of view of putting some other group down that's not their group and putting their own group up.
Oh, yes. And they're all entirely mediated, too, I would argue.
I would agree. But what's interesting, so you have socialism, communism, theism, nationalism, patriotism, communism, and we all think that they bring us together, but actually they tear us apart.
Yes.
So I call them the isms of schism.
That's a good one.
You know, that's because I think in the sense of the gang, going back to our future business.
The gangs,
yeah.
They pit against each other as well.
Actually, I was working on a film project or a script about gangs, and the concept was, what do gangs want? They want attention. They want to feel connected.
That's not my understanding at all.
No, I know. But if you give them positive things that they could do, boy, they'll get a lot more than all the negative stuff that they do. People think they do.
My understanding of gangs is that, at least initially, they began forming as a way of like ethnic solidarity in neighborhoods where no ethnic solidarity existed. You know, oppressed groups looking for ethnic solidarity. So they were not initially violent or anything, but because oppressed groups tend more towards crime and lower socioeconomic conditions or poorer, whatever, what have you, grew towards crime. A gang that most fascinates me about Detroit is the Young Boys Inc.
Really?
Oh my God.
Tell me about them.
The Young Boys Inc. were late 70s, early 80s, and they were making about like $400,000 a day dealing heroin, and they just had tiers and tiers and tiers of individuals working for each other, and they had younger boys selling the heroin because they could get in less trouble with the law. And they basically built a capitalist empire for themselves, and in effect took down the city.
Detroit?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they were all about recruitment, and they were all about capital, and it was pre-crack.
Right.
And they're just really, really fascinating, the Young Boys Inc. And they deserve somebody made a documentary on them that was horrible, and they deserve a really great documentary.
Well, we can do
before
that.
the rest of them die.
Do you know them?
No. They would be very hard to find.
Why? You find them and I'll film them.
All right. I'm a filmmaker as well.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear.
Well, I'm not really.
What do you mean you're not really?
I do things here and there, but
You're a thinker, though.
I'm a thinker. Yeah, I define myself more as that.
But it takes to be a filmmaker. It takes to be a thinker.
That you hope.
Well, we hope.
What's your name again?
My name is you.
I'm me. Nice to meet you, you.
Nice to meet me. Well, it's funny you should mention that because I have this one little friend who is delusional, and I volunteer at an artist asylum, part of a psychiatric center, and maybe the sanest place on the planet. So there's one guy there. He used to say, "I love you, Gio." My name is Gio, and
That's right.
and he'd say, after a couple of years, he said, I'm not going to call you Gio anymore. You're more like me than so I'm going to, whenever I see you, I'm going to say, I love me. So when I meet him, I give him a hug, and he gives me a hug, and he says, I love me, and I say, I love me too.
I am fascinated in this project that you're working on and what you're doing.
Hi, I'm sorry to butt in. I'm dying to meet you.
Hi, I'm
Not
Jane.
me.
Hi, Jane. I'm Pat.
Pat, nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you. I watched one of your videos.
Oh, you did? Which one?
The one where you were trying out something new and it was just your face and you were talking about how well it worked. And I thought, that girl has balls. I have to meet her.
She does have balls. Oh. And I thought she was a nice girl.
She is a nice girl.
Nice girls have balls.
I like that.
Thank you.
I've actually been doing a documentary for 10 years called A Self-Portrait of Humanity. That's where the picture frame started.
What are you doing with these?
And part of the concept of this self-portrait of humanity is what is it like to be a man? What is it like to be a woman? What is it like to be...
Yeah, there's a picture of something. Go to my Facebook page.
What's our relationship to sex?
Kobe beef.
And very few people about that.
Asparagus. Provolone, black truffle.